Imagine a world apart, not merely remote, but fundamentally different in the way life itself has unfolded. Far from any continental landmass, suspended in the vast blue of the Indian Ocean, lies Madagascar, an island nation whose story begins long before human memory, where evolution danced to its own rhythm for tens of millions of years. Here, isolation is not just geographical, it is the crucible in which nature forged its most extraordinary creations. Scientists estimate that since Madagascar split from the ancient supercontinent of Gondwana some 160 million to 90 million years ago, its flora and fauna have followed a singular course, evolving independently in an evolutionary laboratory unlike any other on Earth. Spanning roughly 587,041 square kilometers, Madagascar ranks as the fourth largest island on the planet, a landmass nearly the size of Texas, suspended off the southeastern coast of Africa across the deep waters of the Mozambique Channel. Here, life took paths unseen anywhere else, from the eerie, haunting calls of lemurs echoing through rainforest canopies to chameleons that shift color like living gemstones and plants that defy classification. In this living arc of biodiversity, over 90% of its species, including more than 100 species of lemurs, nearly all chameleons, and thousands of plants, exist nowhere else on Earth. Wander beneath the dappled light of rainforests and you'll glimpse sifakas, the dancing lemurs, springing across the forest floor with uncanny grace. Tiny chameleons, no bigger than the nail of your little finger, cling to tender shoots. Ancient baobab giants stand as sentinels at sunset, their swollen trunks silhouetted against fiery skies. And orchids, delicate yet bold, carpet the understory in a riot of color. This is Madagascar, a fusion of the surreal and the sublime, a land that blurs the line between dream and reality. Its forests breathe with life millions of years in the making. Its shores meet sapphire seas, and its landscapes, from spiny deserts to lush highlands, defy every expectation. Yet this paradise is fragile. The very forces that make it unique, its isolation and evolutionary history, also make it vulnerable as human pressures and climate change challenge the survival of its irreplaceable life forms. To step foot here is to witness evolution's masterpiece, a place whose wonders redefine the limits of biodiversity, and whose stories of survival and adaptation continue to inspire scientists, explorers, and dreamers alike. But this is no untouched Eden. The story of Madagascar is not just one of wonder, it is a chronicle of loss and resilience. Since humans first set foot on these shores some 2,000 years ago, the island's original forests have been relentlessly cleared, fragmented, and degraded. Across Madagascar, vast tracts of once continuous canopy have yielded to slash-and-burn agriculture, charcoal production, fuel wood gathering, and subsistence farming. Practical necessities for local families, but devastating for ecosystems. Over the centuries, Madagascar has lost an estimated half or more of its natural forest cover, with much of what remains confined to isolated pockets protected from human pressures. This destruction imperils some of Earth's rarest and most extraordinary species. The ai, an enigmatic nocturnal lemur with oversized eyes and a skeletal finger it uses like a probe to extract insects from wood, is classified as endangered, its survival tied to the vanishing rainforest that once sheltered it. And nowhere is this peril more dramatic than in the saga of the Madagascar pochard, once thought extinct and now clinging to existence thanks to intensive conservation efforts. For years, only a handful of these diving ducks survived until captive breeding and reintroduction programs brought their numbers back from the brink. Yet in the midst of this fragile balance between loss and hope, sanctuaries take root and protection begins to heal the land. Roughly 10% of Madagascar's land surface now lies within a mosaic of conservation strongholds, national parks, reserves, and marine protected areas, where the wilds are defended and biodiversity is given room to breathe. Here, a network of 18 national parks, special reserves, and numerous smaller protected areas works to safeguard habitats critical for endemic wildlife. Within these havens, ecotourism becomes more than a vista for travelers. It becomes a lifeline for conservation. Nature-based tourism generates hundreds of millions in revenue. Studies estimate that spending linked to visits in Madagascar's protected areas may total in the hundreds of millions of US dollars annually at the national level, supporting park infrastructure, local guides, and community enterprises that hinge their livelihoods on healthy forests and thriving wildlife rather than cleared land. Join me on this epic voyage through Madagascar's remote wilds. From tangled rainforests echoing with lemur calls to pristine beaches where ancient sea turtles come ashore beneath starlit skies. We will encounter species found nowhere else on Earth, delve into their fragile worlds, and witness the dedicated efforts to preserve this natural treasure. This is a tale of isolation and adaptation, of beauty and fragility, a story that draws nature lovers and adventurers to one of Earth's last frontiers. The adventure begins. Let Madagascar's whispers guide us. Now let us set our course from the island's heart, Antananarivo. Perched at some 1,280 meters above sea level, this bustling capital of 1.3 million people serves as both cultural crossroads and launching pad for wild quests. From here, a 3-hour journey east along winding roads brings us to Andasibe Mantadia National Park, a sprawling 15,500-hectare rainforest sanctuary where mist-shrouded trees rise in layered canopies and the air hums with life. This montane rainforest, drenched by approximately 1,700 millimeters of rain each year, nurtures a staggering variety of endemic species, orchids blooming in dazzling profusion amid ferns and lianas. On the Indri Trail, a 2-hour loop through dense emerald undergrowth, you will hear the forest come alive with sound. The haunting calls of the Indri, Madagascar's largest lemur, resonating like whale songs through the trees. These black and white giants can grow up to 70 centimeters tall, and their songs carry for kilometers across the canopy, a living echo of the island's ancient evolutionary symphony. As dusk falls and the forest awakens in a different rhythm, your night walk reveals hidden marvels. Phosphorescent fungi, glowing beneath leaf litter, and the enormous comet moth, its iridescent wings eclipsing many insects in size as it flits ghost-like into the darkness. Venture south into the emerald highlands, where mist clings to ancient trees and rivers. Carve deep valleys through living rainforest. This is Ranomafana National Park, a 40,601-hectare sanctuary born from discovery and urgency. In 1986, scientists identified a species thought lost to science, the golden bamboo lemur. This single revelation triggered the park's creation in 1991, transforming Ranomafana into a global symbol of conservation driven by discovery. Today, fewer than 1,000 golden bamboo lemurs remain, their survival bound to this fragile forest. Stretching across elevations from 600 to 1,500 meters, Ranomafana's terrain is steep, lush, and perpetually damp. The park receives nearly 2,000 millimeters of rain each year, fueling moss-draped trees, roaring waterfalls, and crystal streams alive with amphibians. Within this humid labyrinth thrive 12 species of lemurs, including the secretive eye. a nocturnal marvel whose elongated middle finger taps tree bark like sonar, detecting hollow chambers where insects hide. Few animals on Earth embody evolutionary innovation so vividly. Follow the Talatakali Trail, a demanding 4-hour loop winding through dense understory and towering canopy. Here, silence is never complete. Rustling leaves may betray the presence of the fosa, Madagascar's apex predator, a sleek, cat-like carnivore capable of climbing, leaping, and hunting lemurs with astonishing agility. Below, streams pulse with life. Ranamafana harbors over 130 frog species, many endemic, their calls forming a nighttime chorus that defines the rainforest's pulse. At the forest's edge, steam rises from the earth itself. Ranamafana, meaning hot water in Malagasy, is named for its natural thermal springs, bubbling at approximately 38 degrees Celsius. For generations, local communities have bathed here, believing the mineral-rich waters carry healing properties, a rare convergence of geology, tradition, and biodiversity. Now, journey northeast, where rainforest meets the sea and land dissolves into water. Welcome to Massawa National Park, Madagascar's largest protected area, spanning an immense 2,300 square kilometers. Recognized as part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2007, Massawa is not one ecosystem, but many: towering primary rainforest, tangled mangrove swamps, and vibrant marine reserves along the sheltered shores of Antongil Bay. This is one of the wettest places on Earth, drenched by nearly 3,000 millimeters of rainfall annually. Such abundance sustains astonishing diversity. Massawa shelters 14 species of lemurs, including the flamboyant red-ruffed lemur, its fiery coat echoing the rainforest canopy. Critically endangered, its global population has fallen below 1,000 individuals, making every encounter here profoundly rare. Bird life explodes in color and form. Among the most striking is the helmet vonga, a forest specialist wielding a massive electric blue beak used to pry insects from bark, a living testament to Madagascar's evolutionary isolation. Along the coast, the wilderness shifts again. Paddle silently through mangrove tunnels by kayak, where roots twist like living sculptures and juvenile fish find refuge. Offshore, from July through October, the ocean comes alive as humpback whales migrate through Antongil Bay, breaching, singing, and calving in these protected waters. Beneath the surface, coral reefs pulse with color, supporting over 400 species of fish, a marine counterpart to the island's terrestrial riches. From steaming rainforest springs to whale-filled seas, Madagascar reveals itself not as a single destination, but as an unfolding epic, a mosaic of worlds shaped by isolation, rain, and time. Here, survival is a daily triumph, and conservation is not an abstract ideal, but a living, breathing effort etched into every trail, reef, and canopy. If you want, I can continue next with Madagascar's spiny deserts, baobab avenues, or a deep dive conservation finale tying all ecosystems together into a powerful closing chapter. From the rainforests and coastal reefs, let us now turn westward into a landscape that could not be more different. Here, where the ocean breeze dries the soil and the sun blazes across scarlet sands, lies one of Madagascar's most singular and surreal ecosystems, the spiny forests of Ifati and Simonampetsotsa National Park. This is a world sculpted by aridity and shaped by resilience, where life has adapted to exist on the brink. In southwestern Madagascar's dry belt, rainfall rarely exceeds 400 millimeters annually, and the land seems at first glance harsh and forbidding. Yet within this seeming barrenness lies your destination. Forests of bizarre and spine-armored plants, forests so unique they are found nowhere else on Earth. Up to 95% of the plant species here are endemic, evolved over millions of years to flourish in a realm where water is precious and survival requires innovation. Gigantic baobab trees, ancient sentinels of the spiny thicket, rise from the red earth with bulbous trunks capable of storing life-giving water through long dry seasons. These iconic giants, some perhaps thousands of years old, anchor a landscape of thorny Aloadia plants, euphorbs, and octopus-like trees that twist and coil skyward like living sculptures, their spines a living testament to adaptation in the harsh heat. In the dappled shade beneath these spiny sentinels, lemurs defy expectations. Ring-tailed lemurs, the charismatic ambassadors of Madagascar's wilds, are frequently seen sunbathing atop branches, their ruby eyes scanning the horizon and their striped tails held high in social display. Alongside them, the agile Vero's sifaka leaps across spiny branches with uncanny grace, a ballet of evolution finely tuned to this improbable habitat. Among the region's most iconic residents is the radiated tortoise, its shell a geometric mosaic of radiant yellow and jet black patterns, nature's own art etched in bone and keratin. This emblem of the spiny forest is critically endangered, its survival imperiled by habitat loss and collection. Yet here, on these red plains, it persists as one of the Southwest's most revered inhabitants. Venturing deeper into the Southwest, you enter Tsima Nampetsatsa National Park, where the landscape's extremes become even more striking. The park protects a vast saline lake whose milky turquoise waters contrast starkly with the surrounding dry forest. Along its edges, flamingos gather, their bright pink plumage reflected in the shallows, while distant calls echo across a seemingly inhospitable plain that teems with unexpected life. Beneath the limestone escarpments, hidden caverns harbor ghostly inhabitants, blind cave fish that have lost their sight through generations of evolution in subterranean waters, navigating by touch and vibration in total darkness. These silent denizens are a reminder that adaptation's creative force knows no bounds, even where light cannot reach. Here, the spiny forests and saline plains of the Southwest stand in dramatic contrast to Madagascar's lush eastern rainforests, a testament to the island's astonishing ecological breadth. From humid canopy to sun-baked thicket, Madagascar's wilds are a tapestry woven of extremes, each ecosystem a chapter in the story of evolution. When the call of the wild turns toward the sea, Madagascar answers with islands of light and water. Fly north over emerald shallows and coral-fringed bays to Nosy Be, an island paradise adrift off the northwest coast, where the Indian Ocean softens into the warm, life-rich waters of the Mozambique Channel. Here, beaches unfurl in ribbons of powdery white sand, shaded by palms and kissed by tides as clear as glass. Beneath the surface, Nosy Be reveals its greatest treasures. From October to December, the world's largest fish, the gentle whale shark, glides through these plankton-rich waters, drawing snorkelers into silent encounters with a giant that feeds delicately despite its immense size. Earlier in the year, from July through September, the sea erupts with life as humpback whales migrate through the channel. Massive bodies breach skyward, tails slap the surface, and haunting songs ripple through the ocean. A seasonal spectacle few places on Earth can rival. Yet Nosy Be's wonders extend inland. Tucked away in the island's southeast was Lokobe Nature Reserve, one of the last remnants of primary rainforest in the region. Here, narrow trails wind beneath towering trees where black lemurs leap through the canopy and brilliantly patterned panther chameleons cling motionless to branches, their colors shifting like living mosaics. In this dense forest, the rhythms of the island slow, offering a quiet counterpoint to the energy of the surrounding sea. Now turn southwest once more, where land and ocean meet in dramatic contrast. Along the coast near Ifati, beaches stretch wide and sunlit, bordered not by palms, but by the eerie silhouettes of spiny forest vegetation. By day, travelers trek through thorny thickets and baobab groves. By afternoon, they slip beneath the waves into the coral gardens of the Mozambique Channel. Here, reefs bloom with life. Manta rays soar through the blue like underwater birds, and green and hawksbill sea turtles cruise along reef edges shaped by centuries of tides. Just inland, the land tells a deeper story of time. The Reniala Private Reserve protects one of Madagascar's most iconic landscapes, a cathedral of ancient baobabs rising from red earth. Some of these giants are believed to be over 1,000 years old. Their massive, bottle-shaped trunks evolved to store precious water through months of drought. At sunset, their silhouettes stretch across the sand, living monuments to endurance in a land shaped by extremes. From nosy bees' coral-fringed serenity to Ifati's stark, sunlit shores, Madagascar's beaches are never merely places of rest. They are crossroads of migration, evolution, and survival. Where rainforest meets reef, where ancient trees stand watch over restless seas, and where the island story continues to unfold between land and ocean. In Madagascar, the rarest creatures on Earth are not hidden in shadows. They take center stage. This island is defined by its wildlife, and no animals embody its evolutionary story more completely than the lemurs. With 107 recognized species and subspecies, every single one found nowhere else on the planet, lemurs are Madagascar's living signature, a primate lineage that evolved in isolation after monkeys and apes never reached the island. At one extreme is Madame Bertha's mouse lemur, the smallest primate on Earth, weighing a mere 30 grams, light enough to perch on a human finger. At the other stands the indri, the island's largest surviving lemur, reaching 9 kilograms, its powerful legs built for vertical leaps and its voice echoing across forests in long, mournful songs. Between these extremes exists a dazzling spectrum of forms, nocturnal and diurnal, leaf-eaters and insect hunters, each shaped by Madagascar's fragmented landscapes and ancient forests. But lemurs are not alone in this evolutionary theater. Ruling the forests as top predator is the fosa, a sleek, muscular carnivore often described as mongoose-like, yet moving with the fluid grace of a cat. Endemic to Madagascar, the fosa is an apex hunter capable of climbing, leaping, and ambushing prey in 3 dimensions. Lemurs know its scent instinctively. When it passes, the forest falls silent. Reptiles tell an equally astonishing story. Madagascar is home to over 300 species of reptiles, the majority endemic, including some of the most visually striking creatures on Earth. Among them is the panther chameleon, a living prism capable of shifting colors in seconds, not for camouflage but for communication, signaling dominance, stress, or readiness to mate through vivid displays of reds, blues, and greens. In Madagascar, color is language. Towering above them all are the island's most iconic plants. The baobab trees, often called the upside-down trees, for their root-like branches reaching skyward. In the dry west, these giants dominate the horizon. Their swollen trunks evolved to store extraordinary reserves of water, up to 120,000 liters in a single tree. Some have stood for more than 1,000 years, silent witnesses to climate shifts, human arrival, and the slow transformation of the land. Yet this biological wealth exists under immense pressure. Madagascar is recognized globally as one of the world's most critical biodiversity hotspots, places with exceptional endemism facing extreme habitat loss. An estimated 70% of the island's original forests have already disappeared, cleared for agriculture, fuel, and survival. With forest loss comes fragmentation, and with fragmentation, extinction risks rise sharply. But this is not a story of loss alone. It is also a story of response. In 2003, Madagascar launched a bold conservation commitment known as the Durban Vision, pledging to dramatically expand its protected lands. Within years, the island tripled its protected areas, safeguarding more than 6 million hectares of forest, reef, and wetland, one of the most ambitious conservation expansions ever attempted by a developing nation. On the ground, conservation succeeds not through fences, but through people. In Rainforests National Park, community-based programs have trained local residents as guides, researchers, and forest stewards. By tying livelihoods directly to healthy ecosystems, these initiatives have cut poaching rates by as much as 50%, transforming former pressures into guardianship. Along the coast in Massawa, protection extends beneath the waves. Marine protected areas ban destructive fishing practices, allowing coral reefs to recover and fish populations to rebound. The result is a living reef system that supports both marine biodiversity and sustainable tourism, a rare balance between preservation and prosperity. Madagascar stands at a crossroads. Its species are irreplaceable. Its ecosystems are fragile. Yet its conservation successes prove that extinction is not inevitable. Here, evolution wrote one of Earth's most extraordinary stories, and today humanity holds the pen for its next chapter. This is Madagascar, a land where life took a different path, where survival is an art form, and where protecting the wild is not just an option, it is a responsibility owed to the planet itself. Madagascar's allure lies in its profound isolation, a land set adrift in time. For nearly 88 million years, this island evolved alone, cut off from the rhythms of continents, allowing nature to experiment freely. The result is a living archive of evolution, where around 90% of plant species are found nowhere else on Earth. Among them stands the iconic traveler's palm, its fan-shaped leaves collecting rainwater, a silent companion to wanderers, offering sustenance in a land where survival has always required ingenuity. But isolation is a double-edged gift. The same forces that shaped Madagascar's wonders also render them vulnerable. Today, threats persist. Illegal rosewood logging, habitat fragmentation, and bushmeat hunting continue to pressure fragile ecosystems. Yet the story does not end in decline. Across the island, modern conservation efforts are gaining ground. By 2025, initiatives such as drone surveillance in protected forests, strengthened law enforcement, and community-led reforestation projects have helped reduce deforestation by an estimated 20% in key national parks. Technology and tradition now stand side by side in defense of the wild. As the sun sinks behind ancient baobabs and long shadows stretch across red earth, as waves whisper against coral-fringed shores, Madagascar reveals its deeper truth. This is not just a destination, it is a legacy, a fragile inheritance written in leaves and limestone, feathers and fur, carried through deep time to reach us here, now. In its forests, its beaches, and its rarest species lies a reminder. What survives does so not by chance, but by care. To explore Madagascar is to witness Earth's creativity at its boldest, and to accept the responsibility that comes with wonder. Embrace the adventure, support the conservation, protect what cannot be replaced. Your journey awaits. Thank you for joining this wild odyssey. Subscribe for more journeys into nature's last frontiers. Until next time, let Madagascar's call beckon you.